In today's video, we delve into the intriguing relationship between governments and the climate crisis. While climate change poses a real threat to our planet, it also appears to provide governments with opportunities to expand their regulatory powers, increase tax revenues, and enforce new controls over energy sources. We will explore how these actions can often lead to restrictions on individual freedoms, heightened surveillance, and a push for agenda-driven policies that align with a plethora of bureaucratic interests. Join us as we unpack the complex dynamics of why some governments may be more inclined to capitalize on the climate crisis rather than merely combating it. 1. Expanded regulatory powers. Governments around the world often find the climate crisis to be a convenient reason to expand their regulatory powers. They argue that in order to combat climate change, more stringent controls on businesses and individuals are necessary. This could mean imposing limits on emissions, regulating the types of vehicles people can drive, or even mandating how buildings should be constructed. In many ways, it resembles a parent-child relationship, where the government assumes the role of the parent, dictating the rules for the good of the child, which is the public. These expanded powers are not always met with resistance, as they are often framed as essential for the survival of our planet. However, it also means that governments have more say in how we conduct our daily lives. 2. Increased tax revenues. One of the most direct benefits for governments in the wake of the climate crisis is the introduction of climate-related taxes. Carbon taxes, for example, have become a popular tool for both reducing emissions and raising government revenue. These taxes are often justified as necessary to deter harmful environmental practices. For governments, this means a new and steady stream of income that can be funneled into various projects or used to balance budgets. It's akin to adding another feather to their cap of income sources, allowing them more financial flexibility. However, for the general public, these taxes can lead to increased costs for goods and services, hitting their wallets directly. 3. Control over energy sources. The push for renewable energy is another area where governments gain more control. By advocating for solar, wind, and other renewable sources, they can more tightly regulate energy production and consumption. Governments can set quotas, provide subsidies, or even penalize those who don't comply with their energy directives. This level of control is often portrayed as a necessary step to ensure a sustainable future. In essence, it's as if the government holds the keys to the energy grid, deciding who can turn on the lights and who cannot. While the intention might be noble, it also places significant power in the hands of the state, potentially stifling innovation and competition. 4. Justification for surveillance. Climate policies have also paved the way for increased surveillance, both for businesses and individuals. Governments argue that in order to ensure compliance with environmental regulations, monitoring is essential. This has led to the installation of sensors, cameras, and other tracking technologies to keep tabs on emissions, energy use, and other activities. Imagine it as a watchdog keeping a close eye on its surroundings, ensuring no one steps out of line. While this can lead to more efficient policy implementation, it also raises concerns about privacy and the extent to which individuals are willing to be monitored. 5. Agenda-driven policies. The climate crisis often serves as a convenient backdrop for governments to push through policies that align with their existing agendas. It's not uncommon for certain policies to be implemented under the guise of environmental protection, even if their environmental impact is minimal. This can lead to skepticism among the public, who might question the true motives behind certain initiatives. It's like a magician performing tricks, diverting attention to one hand while the other is doing something entirely different. Governments may use the climate crisis as an opportunity to advance other economic, social, or political objectives that they might otherwise struggle to justify. 6. Restrictions on individual freedom. Climate regulations can often lead to restrictions on personal freedoms. For instance, there might be limitations on car usage, forcing people to switch to public transport or electric vehicles. Governments may also mandate specific energy sources for homes, restricting choices for consumers. This is akin to being given a limited menu in a restaurant, where your choices are predetermined, leaving little room for personal preference. While these measures are often justified as necessary for reducing carbon footprints, they can feel like a loss of personal autonomy for many. 7. Funding for bureaucracies. The introduction of climate initiatives often leads to the creation and expansion of bureaucratic agencies. These agencies require funding, staff, and resources, leading to an increase in government size and spending. It's similar to adding more layers to an already complex system, each with its own set of rules and regulations. While these agencies are tasked with overseeing climate-related policies, their expansion can lead to inefficiencies and increased costs for taxpayers. The growth of bureaucracy often sparks debates about the balance between effective governance and excessive administrative overhead. 8. Global cooperation. The climate crisis has also led to increased global cooperation, with countries coming together to sign international agreements. These agreements often require countries to cede some of their sovereignty to global bodies, which can be seen as both a positive and negative development. On one hand, it fosters unity and collective action against a common threat. On the other hand, it can lead to concerns about national autonomy and decision-making power. It's a bit like joining a club where everyone has to follow the same rules, even if it means giving up some individual freedoms. 9. Public compliance through fear. The narrative of an impending climate disaster can lead to public compliance with government policies driven by fear. The portrayal of a dire future if action isn't taken can be a powerful motivator for the public to accept new regulations and policies. It's like a looming shadow that persuades people to take cover, even if the threat isn't immediate. While fear can be an effective tool for driving change, it also raises ethical questions about the balance between informing and scaring the public. 10. The rise of green politics. Lastly, the climate crisis has given rise to green politics, with political parties and movements emphasizing climate action gaining power. These parties capitalize on public concern over climate change, often promising sweeping reforms and policies. It's akin to riding a wave of popular sentiment, using the momentum to drive political agendas. While this can lead to positive environmental changes, it also raises questions about the authenticity of some political promises and whether they are truly in the best interest of the environment or merely a means to gain political capital.